Good morning, April. Thank you for being here. Hello, Rina from Saudi Arabia. Hello, Sui. Nice to have you. We've got people from a couple of different time zones already. I'm here in the UK. Hello, Layla from Iran. Adama, good morning. And shortly we'll be welcoming our friends from YouTube joining us as well. Hello, Suman. Hello, everybody. So welcome to everybody who is joining us for this session today on Part A, Skimming and Scanning. And good morning, Kirsten and Kajida joining us on YouTube as well. So just to say to everybody, I hope you can see the screen okay, and I hope you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up or say yes in the chat box. Thank you, wonderful, thank you. So please use the chat box for sending messages, answers, questions. If you set it to everyone, then the teacher, that's me, and the other students can see it as well. And to our friends on YouTube, please just type into the chat there. I will be looking as we go along. Good morning, everybody. It's wonderful to see you all. Great. Okay, so just to say that if you are interested in investing in an OET package and passing your test for a limited time, we have a code, expert, and that will give you 20% off. So let's talk about reading Part A and what happens in it. You've got to read quickly. The focus is fast and efficient reading. You've got 4 short texts with 20 questions. There will be matching, short answer, and sentence completion. As you know, time is the challenge. We only have 15 minutes, and you need to read quickly and efficiently. There will be various text features such as tables, bullet points, visual, numerical information, footnotes, continuous prose, different fonts. So you've really got quite a lot to get to grips with. Now, the first skill that's really useful is skimming, and that means you've got to quickly work out what a text is about. Now, this skill is called skimming. You might look first for any graphic elements such as pictures or tables. You will look obviously at the headers and the subheaders, and you're going to run your eyes quickly down the text. Now, you're not trying to pick up every word. You're just trying to get a guess at what the text seems to be about. And I also like to say that you're not trying to find the right answer. You're simply exposing your brain in a relaxed way to the words, just to get a sense of what the meaning is all about. So we're going to have a go at some skimming practice. Now you're going to see a redacted text. That means that there won't be any graphic elements, headers or subheaders. And also you're only going to see a section of the text. Some of it will be covered. Do not be frightened or surprised. The focus is simply going down the page quickly to get a sense, what is this text all about? Okay, so let's try it. 15 seconds. All right, what was that text about? Put into the chat, what did you capture? What did you pick up from that text? Well done, Momina. Well done, man. Yes. Obesity, children with obesity. Yes, yes. exactly. That word obesity came up quite a lot, didn't it? All right, so it was indeed about that. So now we're going to move on to the next skill, which is scanning, and that means looking for specific words or phrases. Now, I'm just going to come onto the camera briefly and say, when you are scanning, it's like you are looking for a misplaced object. Now, I don't know if you wear glasses, but if you're like me, you will often find that you put your glasses, especially if they're reading glasses, down somewhere, and you think, where is it? Where did I put it? And when you're trying to find where you put something, you are looking. You're not exactly reading. You are looking for something with a specific shape in mind. So we're going to do a little game here. See if you can scan the table to find the words. So for example, vaccination is B18, and you're just looking at this to find the words in the table. I'll go for 10 more seconds. All right, answers have poured in here. Well done. There are the answers. Okay, now I won't point them out to you one by one, but you can train yourself to scan by doing things like word searches, right? That's when you are trying to find a particular word that's buried in other words. Another thing that's very useful is to understand the spelling of English words. So for example, dehydration and delusional, well, they're both starting with the prefix de, and that can help focus your attention when you are looking to try and find a particular word. Good job. All right, let's move on. Now, if we go back to the skill of skimming, you are trying to make sense of the meaning when you are skimming. You're thinking, what's the writer talking about? Another way to process this is, what could the reader do with this information? And you're looking here for the overall impression, not the particulars. Now, this skill is useful at the start of each part of the reading A test, because you want to spend something like a minute previewing the whole thing. You want to get a sense of each of the 4 texts, and in general, what is the text about and how it's laid out. So in this exercise, I'd like you to just write in the chat box, what is the text about? And you've just got 15 seconds. Okay, and we'll do the same thing with the next one. And the next one. And last one. All right, good. How did you get on? Seeing lots of great answers here in YouTube. Well done. So now let's go to the answers. Okay, so the possible answers are text A was about the cannula, the indications and contraindications. Now we could say that the reader can decide when to use and when not to use a cannula. For text B, as many people said, it's about the technique and rationale about how to insert a cannula correctly. For text C, we've got information about size, flow rate, and use. We could say the reader can decide how to use the right size cannula for a particular patient. And text D is about phlebitis. We might say it's about diagnosing and preventing phlebitis. Now, don't worry if you didn't come up with exactly the same words that are written here. The point is that you make it make sense to you. It's a bit like you're shaking hands with the text. You're getting to know things in general about it. So now we'll have a look at the matching questions. People always want to know, should I do this at the start? Yes, you should. What you will see in the test is matching questions like the example below. You have to decide in which text you can find information about various things. And all you're going to do is write down the letter corresponding to the text that contains that information. You may use any letter more than once. So let's try some. So in which text can you find information about when it's better not to insert a cannula? And text 2. Three. Four. Five. All right, well done. Lots of answers coming in there again. Let's have a look at the answers to it. So the first one, in which text can you find information about when it's better not to insert a cannula? Well, that is given in A, because we've got the word contraindications. In other words, when you should not put in a cannula. It mentions avoiding injured, infected and burned extremities, but it does say there's no absolute contraindications. Okay, now when we go back and we think about when we skim read, yes, we noticed decide when to use and not to use a cannula. That's another way of thinking about what the reader can do with the information in text A. So now for 2, the correct answer for where we can find information about a frequent complication associated with cannula use, that is in answer D, and it's the illness or the condition of phlebitis. All right, and when we skim read at the beginning, we said, okay, text D is about diagnosing and preventing phlebitis. We want to prevent complications, so that would also have helped us to reach answer D, text D. For number 3, we can find information about how to decide which is the most appropriate cannula in C. Okay, if we think about how I paraphrased C, it's use the right size cannula for a particular patient. Well, right size is another way to say most appropriate. And then number 4, where we find information about ways of keeping a cannula site healthy, we're back to D again, preventing phlebitis, because at the bottom it says prevention measures include. So a prevention measure is something you do, and the thing we're preventing is phlebitis, in other words, keeping it healthy. So it's D. All right. And then for number 5, the correct way to insert a cannula is, I think this is the easiest one to see, it's the technique there in B. And again, it's almost a complete paraphrase, insert a cannula correctly, technique rationale. Okay, are there any questions at this point? Okay, so now let's move on to the short answer questions. And this is what you'll see on test day. You will, the short answer ones, you've got to write your answers and make sure that they are spelled correctly. Now, for these questions, you will answer with a word or a short phrase. You may be writing a word, you may be writing numbers, or even both. So it's very straightforward. There's some examples there to look at. Now, a short method for doing this is to first identify keywords in the question, then decide, well, which texts might contain the answer. And then you're going to scan the text for words and information related to those keywords. Now, here you may find exactly the same word, but chances are you won't. You will find synonyms. You may even find antonyms, opposites. Then you're going to read the section carefully to find the correct answer. If you don't find it straight away, it might be that you've gone to the wrong place. So then you go back to your skimming and you'll read around the relevant section if you don't find the answer quickly. Now, finding the keywords in the question and then matching them to the text is crucial. You'll be looking for the same word or synonyms. So here, what is a synonym for maintain warmth in this text? We've just got a short version of it here, maintain warmth, and a synonym for that, for maintain warmth. Well, it is there, keep non-infected areas warm and dry. Maintain is synonymous with keep, and warmth and warm, well, they're just different forms of the same word. So let's have a quick go at identifying the keywords in the question. What do you think for 8 and 9? What are the keywords? So number 8, we might say it's how long. So that indicates we're going to be thinking about a length of time, repeating, and then diazepam. Yeah, well done, Momina. Well done, Man. Yeah, same dose of diazepam, frequency of diazepam. Yes, thinking there about synonyms. And here we've got for 9, other term for non-motor generalized. Okay, so other term might be synonymous with another word, another definition, another piece of language. So let's try some answers together. For number 6, what size cannula should you use on children? I'm going to give you the point there. Have a go at that one. All right, so many people have got this answer very, very quickly. Well done. If you got it correctly, which is 22, what was the word that gave you the hint? Yusra, brilliant. Pediatric, exactly. Pediatric is a synonym for children. That gives us the right answer. Okay, next, number 7. What can happen if you use excessive pressure when inserting the needle? So let's decide which text to go for. This is to do with how you insert the needle. So it's going to be here. Have a go at this one. Okay, we'll come back to the answers later. Let's go to the next one. What part of the blood vessel is at risk of damage while you're taking the needle out? Go back to the same one again. Okay, let's move on. What part of the vein is affected in phlebitis? Wow, here at E2, lots of people have got the right answers so quickly. I feel like I want to move on. Brilliant. Well done, guys. Yes. All right. Let's have a look at the answers. So for number 6, we already had 22 gauge, 22G. For number 7, what happens if you use excessive pressure when inserting the needle? We might have flattening of the vessel. Now, be careful. You should not write prevent flattening of the vessel. We're simply looking for what happens, not the thing we're trying to prevent. Yes, we're looking for the problem, which is flattening of the vessel. A lot of people got intima very quickly for this one, which is the part of the blood vessel at risk of damage while taking the needle out. And here we could find this because of the synonym for damage. What's the synonym for damage at the bottom there? Can anyone say in the chat, what's the synonym for damage that could help us to scan for the right area to look for? Very good. Nice one, Rena and Yusra. Trauma. Exactly. Very good. And then the part of the vein that's affected in phlebitis is the internal lining. Okay. Now, we don't want to write the internal lining of the vein because that is in the question already. You just need to write internal lining. Now, let's have a quick look at the sentence completion questions. So here you are using a word or a short phrase exactly from the text. It may be words, numbers, or both, and you're going to complete the sentences. Yeah, one student here at E2 is saying this part is difficult for me. I'm sure that you are not alone with this. So the more we practice, the better you get. Thank you for sharing that. So there's a method with this. First of all, you're going to analyze the gap sentence and think, well, where is the gap? What type of information is missing? Is it a noun, adjective, dosage, medication? That helps you to scan, right? Doing that is part of your speed reading skills, understanding what you're looking for. And then again, you're identifying the keywords in the sentence around the gap. And then you're precisely scanning for the keywords or synonyms for the word in the text. Then you read the text carefully to find the answer. And finally, I can't stress this enough, please check that you have spelled the word or the phrase correctly. So an example of this would be, here we're thinking about the keywords, can't be easily categorized, or little information. What are they referred to as? We know it's going to be a kind of noun to describe these seizures. Okay, so we'll come back to that in a little bit. So let's try some. Number 10, when preparing to insert a cannula, clean the skin and apply something. So it's going to be a thing that you apply after cleaning the skin. What do you apply after cleaning the skin? Fantastic. You are getting it so quickly. Indeed. I'm going to just move on because I'm seeing people getting the answer. Diving in and getting it. Well done, April. Well done. Next one, inserting the needle too steeply can result in something the underside of the vein. So this is all about technique. So we'll go to text B here. This one's more challenging, isn't it? We'll come back to that one. Okay, number 12, a question about what symptom indicates grade 1 phlebitis. Brilliant. Lots of people have dived in on that one, so I'm going to move on. And number 13, make sure that there is no something in IV solutions that you make up. All right, we've got some interesting spellings here, guys. Be careful. You don't need to write capitals. There's a question on YouTube there. Okay, let's move on. A symptom for grade 4 phlebitis. Mm-hmm. All right, well done, well done. A lot of people are getting this very quickly. Okay, so now we've got a question about the size of the cannulas. Mm. All right, good work. Let's keep going and have a look at the answers. Now, this is where some people end up kicking themselves because they didn't write down close enough to what the right answer will be for test day. I'm going to draw your attention to some common problems. Now, number 10 is usually pretty easy. Everyone gets apply a tourniquet. For number 11, inserting the needle too steeply can result in perforating the underside of the vein. It's not perforating the back, although that's highlighted. The correct word to complete the sentence is perforating. Underside is synonymous with back. So you only need the word perforating there. Erythema for 12, most people get that quickly. Number 13 is particulate matter. And the hint is that we want none of this. Make sure that there is no particulate matter. Now, if you wrote particular matter, unfortunately, you wouldn't get that point. It would be marked incorrectly. So make sure that you do copy what is written down correctly. Purulent drainage was number 14, because we already have thickened vein, palpable venous cord, and we've got the noun phrase purulent drainage there is for the second symptom of grade 4 phlebitis. For number 15, you needed to write 61 milliliters per minute. Unfortunately, if you'd just written the number 61, you would not score the point. And the reason for that is this part of the test is testing your accuracy. And you need to make sure that you are completing the sentence accurately. We need to know the unit, how much is delivered per minute, and the answer is 61 milliliters. So well done, and good luck for next time if you didn't quite get it. There are the answers. And now I'd just like to see if there are any questions from anybody. I'm just going to go to the chat box. Were there any particular questions that came up for you? No? Well, just to say that the key skills for reading quickly will be you begin with skim reading the text for general meaning. Then you're analysing each question for the keywords that will guide your search in the text. That helps you to scan, okay? Do make sure that the sentence completion answers are grammatical. And finally, spell the words correctly. Okay, so if you've enjoyed this class, do feel free to consider or continue to join E2 Test Prep. You can review the recorded classes. And there is an offer, as you can see here, to help you prepare for your OET exam with confidence with E2's one-stop learning platform. The E2 packages give you access to unlimited live classes like this one, hundreds of practice questions, a mock test, and teacher tutorials. So I do hope you'll take advantage of this and join us again and use the code EXPERT for 20% off. As I mentioned, we have the mini mock test, which is a really useful experience. It gives you a real life simulation. It helps you gain confidence on the test day. So I encourage you to also join us in the future. If you have any questions now, I can probably take one question if there's anything coming in. Anything from our friends in YouTube? So Carl's asking about capital letters and small letters. I would suggest you copy from the text. Yes. Copy it from the text. Shadra's asking, will an incomplete answer reduce the mark? If the sentence doesn't make sense, you wouldn't get the mark, unfortunately. And Susan, the same answer applies there. Use articles if it's necessary to complete the sentence. Kabir's asking about the most important thing to take care of. I would say it's spelling. All right, so thank you very much for joining today. And I am looking forward to seeing our E2 students later for the regular reading A class in about an hour. But for now, keep working hard, keep up the great practice, and good luck to everybody on your OET journey.